to Cincinnati. Welcome to the jungle. Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in our Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle we unite dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle dripping heat, tigers strike the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you reppin' who day, time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Blue day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle we unite dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move dancing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em, Bengal bought 'em, never stopping till the beast on feasting on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle we unite dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move dancing on? Now who wanna move on? Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of Jackpot Joey Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals, and Desmond Ridder, who apparently kicked ass yesterday at his pro day. Now, do me a favor, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,537 subscribers. That is awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Now, if you're watching the show on Facebook or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so. And what are you waiting for? Go to YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for the notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, as always, we're doing super chats. Also got super stickers, all kinds of stuff in there that you can use to support the show and make sure your comment gets read. Give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave. Guess what? Ice Cave is sponsored by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. So if you guys would know a company or have a company that wants to sponsor the Ice Cave or sponsor my show, DM me, hit me up on Twitter, or you can email me at jefftrenipole@gmail.com. All right, let's get to this. People say it's going to be a rated R show. He's from Boston. He's crazy, but he might be a little calm today because he's doing the draft preview. We're doing quarterbacks today. He's Kieran from the Full 10 Yards. What's going on, Kieran?
Back on the show. I'm excited, man, because I saw Crown Apple Kid put in the chat, shows rated R. Not today. I don't think I'm gonna be excited, of course. I'm always excited. I'm always high energy. I'm always coming in like I've just had a bag of sugar or something else. But
something else.
but today we're going to talk about quarterbacks. I know this is the Bengals themed show, and the quarterback position is set for at least the next 20 years if Joe Burrow's durability is anything to go by so far.
Absolutely.
But I think it's important, and we get to talk about a Bearcats quarterback by the name of Desmond Ridder. So I'm excited.
Exactly. And he, unfortunately, I did not get to watch his pro day yesterday. I would have loved to, but I was sleeping. That's the problem I have with working at night, so I had to sleep. I could not keep my eyes open to watch it, but I heard he did awesome. What's your thoughts on Desmond's pro day?
Okay, I'll get the rated R bit out of the way quickly.
All right, go ahead.
Dude's a fucking monster. Let's just be honest. I'm going to go through just I've scouted every single draft eligible quarterback this year, whether they are good, they are bad. Desmond is one of the top guys for me. He's one of 3-4 guys. I'm still undecided on the fourth guy, but we'll get to that. Who I've given a first round grade. And if you're just going to let me spitball and talk for a minute, let's start with the obvious talent that is always on display whenever he takes the field, and that is his insane arm strength. It's absolutely unreal. He was dropping just these amazing passes at his pro day. And I know, he's not got edge rushers coming at him. There's not pass rushes. He's not being attacked. He's not behind an offensive line. It doesn't matter. The arm strength is clearly on display. If people want to sit there and marvel over Herbie's arm strength or Mahomes or Allen's arm strength, I think we can appreciate Desmond Ridder as well. Yes, this draft class isn't particularly strong in terms of signal callers, but Desmond Ridder is that guy. He has that insane arm strength as well. He's a top shelf athlete. There's not many guys who are his size, who have his arm strength, besides maybe Josh Allen, who can just take off and run the ball, who can run the read option. He just is that guy. And he's battle tested. People forget how important it is for a quarterback to have experience. Draft last year, guy I really like, Shane Buechele, was literally because he had played so many games, because he's been in there, he's seen almost anything college can offer him. And that's the exact same with Desmond Ridder. He's got a hell of a winning record at Cincinnati. And I know you can say that's due to the guys around him, strong defense or whatever, but he's shown year upon year he is a consistently good starter. And that year on year also leads into the fact that he's coachable. NFL coaches love that more than anything. Show that a guy can be coached, a guy can improve. And we see it with all the best quarterbacks. We saw the jump Patrick Mahomes made from college to the NFL. Josh Allen, he showed he's coachable. He went from 20 touchdowns in a season to 40 touchdowns in a season just from taking pointers on his mechanics. Now, I know he had guys like Diggs in there, but this is very, very important to note that mechanics is a big part of it. So if he can show that he's coachable, he gets the right coach, he's going to be a monster. He's got no physical limitations whatsoever. He can make literally any single throw on that field. That is not a problem with him. His arm strength is ridiculous. If you ask him to make a throw, he will make it. Might not be the most accurate, but once again, he's still got to get those mechanics down. And once he's got those mechanics down, he's going to be absolutely solid. His size, NFL scouts are going to love that. 6'3", 6'4", 220. That's a big frame. That's a typical quarterback frame. When you see a quarterback in the movies, that's the guy. So that's another thing that's going to play well for him. And then the last thing we get into in his strengths is his high-level vision and improvisational skills. Where we see some guys, like Sam Howell in particular, he'll sort of drift around in the pocket, not know where he's going. That can kind of lead to him getting hit. But we see with Desmond, he can climb that pocket really well. He's got the presence there. And that high-level vision means that if he climbs the pocket, he doesn't see anything. That athleticism, that's where he shines. He can take off. And he does look a little bit slow, but that's simply because of his size. He is a very, very strong athlete. Now, we've got to get into the things I don't like because nobody is perfect apart from myself, but not everyone is me. So the biggest problem, me and you talked about it, Jeff, he struggles to get into a rhythm.
Real quick, I can't, if you could share your screen with me again, I lost it. I can't, like I would have popped all that stuff up, but I don't know what
I'm not going to bring it up because I got too many sloppy notes in here for the audience to see.
Gotcha.
But that's a thing me and you talked about.
Yes.
All year, right? Was the fact that he
He's a slow
takes
starter.
a while to get going.
Yeah.
And that's a thing we talked about after every single Bearcats win, I think, that I came on the show this season was, man, he just, besides that Miami game.
If he could just start faster, it would be great. But he just would never get off to, once he got going though, he was untouchable. But just getting him there. Good.
Exactly. And this is going to be a big negative for me. Now, some of your audience might not like that I'm going to say this, but just a guy, you know, how I look at quarterbacks, how I evaluate quarterbacks, he's still snap clapping. I really don't like that about him. I think that's really, really annoying. And going into the NFL, you can't be snap clapping. I get that you can kind of do it at college, but it's your senior year, dog. You got to stop. No, you need to be doing cadence. You need to be out there. 52's the mic. 52's the mic. What is that? You need to be able. I can do it, and I'm not a 6'4" absolute beast. Now I'm beautiful, but I'm not an absolute beast of a quarterback. He just needs to get into that rhythm, and that's something he will do at camp. But I just hope he can pick it up quickly, because that could be a real big problem if he doesn't pick that up in the NFL. A couple of other things I don't like. He's very inconsistent mechanically. Now, I know we see that a lot with guys like this. We saw it with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, even Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
These guys have huge arms, but they don't know how to refine it. That's something they really struggle with, is refining these skills. But like I said, we saw it with Josh Allen. He just, got the footwork a little bit, worked out on that lead foot, learned how to open his hips up a little bit. Perfect.
Right.
20 touchdowns to 40 touchdowns. The difference is night and day, and we saw that on the field. Now, that's where the problems come in with accuracy, though, because his mechanics are a little bit inconsistent. He does whiff on the odd pass. He does overthrow. He does underthrow. Can sail balls over the sidelines. But in terms of a guy you want to draft in the first round purely on potential, look, Patrick Mahomes, drafted on potential.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen, drafted on potential.
Yep.
Herbert, he started his first year, but goddamn, he was drafted on potential. Desmond Ridder is one of those guys. If he goes to a team who knows how to develop quarterbacks, he's going to do absolutely fantastic.
Just, I hope to God it's not the Squealers, because if it's them, then I'm going to have to stop rooting for them. I've said that multiple times on here. But, I mean, from all indication is that from the other experts, that he's probably going to be a late first rounder, possible second rounder. Everybody's got Kenny Pickett and Willis, and some of them even have Hal out of if I'm saying his name right, out of North Carolina above him. Yeah, where do you have? What's your list of quarterback? Who you got number one?
Right now, Matt Corral, just purely because I like what I see and I think he's pro-ready. I don't think he has the highest ceiling at all. I think Malik Willis and Desmond Ridder run away in terms of ceiling, but Kenny Pickett is a name that I keep seeing, and I do not like him. Just for brevity, I have a 3rd round grade on Kenny Pickett.
Oh, wow.
And I know, look, there are things to like about him. He's decent NFL size. He's experienced. He can be very mobile and versatile when players take down. He's also a great leader, like a great locker room guy. He knows how to take control. He knows how to lead a team. But I have serious concerns about hand size. Meme it all you want.
He can dislocate his thumb, though. Doesn't that help?
That's the thing. Obviously, we memed about Joe, and Joe made the tweet about I've just been informed my hands are too small.
He's going to retire. Here's what he said.
Bro, you got guys like Carson Wentz having to wear gloves when it's raining, and if Kenny Pickett's already wearing gloves, don't see how that's going to help. He can be a little bit too aggressive at times. That does lead to turnovers. He's like, I can win the game. I can win the game here. He can overcompensate as well, and he'll just sail balls across the sideline like it's nothing. He can't throw on the run. He's just not very good at it. He lacks any good processing speed. Like, he can't he's going to get sacked a lot unless he has a very good offensive line. There is a serious lack of what we call NFL throws on tape. He's just not making them, across the hashes and stuff like that.
Right.
And his ceiling is through the floor. I hate to do comparisons. He's basically Case Keenum in gloves. I think that's realistically, that's not his ceiling. That's his floor.
Mm-hmm.
But his ceiling's probably Baker Mayfield in gloves. It's just not, you know what I'm saying? He's not. I know
he's not
people
consistent enough is what you're saying.
people are fawning over him, and I really don't understand it. I get that he's been good at Pitt, but he's not been good enough to separate himself from the pack, especially when you've got guys like Malik Willis, like Desmond Ridder, who just separate themselves even more.
Right. I got a question for Crown. He said, Kieran, what do you think about the Dolphins trade with the Chiefs?
They obviously weren't going to be able to pay Tyreek.
Yep.
And it makes sense for them to go out and get another weapon for Tua. But the offensive line, you got to remember the blind side is the opposite side for him. So they shored up the left side of the line,
Right, but not the right.
The right side of the line, that's the blind side for Tua. Obviously, Tyreek's game isn't just the deep ball game. Tyreek is an incredibly, I don't like him as a person, I'll put that out there, but he is an incredibly talented player. He can do almost anything. Now, he's not the refined route runner you have in Keenan Allen or Justin Jefferson, and he's not the just over the top guy that chases in terms of just being that dude. But he is a very good number one receiver, and him and Jalen Waddle together, that's going to be fantastic to watch.
So my thing is with the Dolphins that they better hope Tua is good, because they spent an awful lot of money on two players in Tyreek Hill and Armstead. And to me, I mean, did those two players improve that team that much? I mean, that's kind of the way I look at what Jacksonville is doing too. Jacksonville spent so much money on a couple players that, okay, say this starts working, they're not going to be able to afford to keep everybody. I mean, that's what I'm kind of curious about these teams. Like the Bengals, to me, build it up right. Like they started with the draft, they got all the young guys, they got them together, and they went to free agency to build the defense up. So that got that going. Now they've got the offensive line, so they built it slowly. To me, it's like the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars want to hurry up and get there. Like, oh, the Bengals did it so quickly, but it wasn't 1 year. It was a 3-year buildup. It took them a while to get there. And we had jacked by Joey Burrow, and he's better than Tua or Sunshine there in Jacksonville. So that's the difference. That's where I'm kind of like, I'm dumbfounded as how much money they're throwing at a couple players when they obviously have more than one hole on their team. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. It's just like the Commanders went and spent all that money on Scherf. Okay, well you still got all these other problems.
You got like a 32-year-old injury-prone offensive lineman now, which is,
Right.
I would have been fine with the Bengals taking him, but after what happened with Reef last season, I wasn't 100% on it, especially with the help we needed going into the postseason. I think the problem the Bengals have now given the rest of the league, besides having to try and keep up with this insane offense and a very, very good defense, the fact that people are just going to think, I'm going to do that. But the problem is they're not getting Joe Burrow. They're not getting Jamar Chase. They're not getting Logan Wilson. They're getting guys who they think
right.
Joe Burrow and Logan Wilson. They're going to think they're getting these guys, but they're not. And I think a lot of it as well is the culture Zach Taylor's building. Like, I'm not going to dismiss that. You were there in what's the park called where he come out?
Washington Park.
Yeah, you were at Washington Park. You saw how much he cares about this team. And I know, people think what they think about Mike Bound being a crusty old curmudgeon who doesn't spend money. He said himself,
he did
we're
going to
go out there
do
and give Joe what he needs.
But Mike Brown did what he said he was going to do in that park. He said he's going to give Joe what he needs and get it and to protect him, which I know it's not the exact word for word what he said, but going out and fixing this offensive line is a big step forward. I'm just curious because to me, some people are saying the Bengals broke the NFL. Like, holy crap, they can do that with a crappy, offensive line. Well, then we should be able to do it. Let's go get a piece here, a piece there. I'm like, yeah, but the Bengals built it through the draft. The biggest parts, they built it through the offense, built through the draft. The defense, they built through free agency. But like you said, you can go grab this guy, grab that guy, grab this guy. But like you said, if you don't have the culture, and that's what Zach Taylor preached since he got here. Culture, get the right guys in the building, so you got to not only have to have talented guys, but you have to have the right guys. And that's where I think the Bengals did it right. And that's where I'm kind of curious how this is going to work out for these teams that I'm sorry, they're in worse shape than the Bengals were last year. At the beginning of the year, they were. I mean, Jacksonville sucked. Miami, they suck. They're not that good. They got a brand new coach. Both of them have brand new coaches. Zach Taylor was entering his third year. So it's
I think that's a rule as well. When you get a new head coach, and you've got to give him at least 3 years, because you see guys like Brian Flores who maybe got held up as a scapegoat a little bit, but he's out there in 2 years. You need to give a guy 3 years, because if they come in and you're like, what, 2-16 or 2-15 or whatever your first year, and then you've got guys who are just, you've got to build properly. And if you can't build a culture in 12 months.
Right.
And the players aren't there for 12 months for a start. You're only going to see them 8 months out of the year. You can't build a culture that way. But when you've got a guy like Zach Taylor who lives in Cincinnati, his family lives in Cincinnati, he's part of the community, he loves the community, he goes out and gives game balls to the Bengals bars that people frequent. He knows the local spots. He's not just gone on Yelp and said, oh, this is 5-star. No, he's gone to the bars that Bengals fans go to. He's gone and given out game balls. He's shown he gives a shit about this city. And that's what matters more than anything, because we could have gone 2-15 last year. But if Zach Taylor showed that he gave a fuck about the community, people can be a lot more lenient on them. Now, we're never going to go that bad again, because Joe Burrow is an absolute stud.
Exactly.
But that's the problem now. A lot of NFL teams are going to be falling over themselves trying to get the next Joe Burrow, the next Jamar Chase, the next Logan Wilson, the next Jonah Williams. They're going to be trying to get these guys, but it's not the same. These are just going to be cheap imitations. Nobody is Joe Burrow. Nobody is Jamar Chase. Yeah, they might play like them, but it's the mindset. It's the mentality. It's who they are as people. Look, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, this is what I talk about. We talk about chemistry as well. Tua and Jalen Waddle, great parents. They have tons of chemistry. But when Jalen Waddle moved to Miami, do you think he knocked on Tua's neighbors' doors and said, hey, you don't know me, but I am really rich and I would like to buy your house because I want to live next door to my best friend?
Right. Exactly.
Was Devontae Adams doing that to Aaron Rodgers? Fuck no. But I can guarantee you he's doing that with Derek Carr. They're going to be a much better team now because of things like that, because of the culture, because of the chemistry.
Exactly. All right, let's get back to the draft here. And what's your prospects on, because a lot of most people have Kenny Pickett number 1, you don't, and a lot of people have Willis out of Liberty at number 2. Where do you have Willis at on your draft?
Like I said, it's a toss-up for me for the top 3 guys. I think Willis is right there with Ridder, because his arm is ridiculous as well. The velocity he puts on that ball is stupid. But he does have insane athletic ability as well. Now, a lot of people are going to compare him to Lamar Jackson. I don't think that's fair. I think he can be a lot better passer than Lamar Jackson. Now, I know at Louisville we saw Lamar Jackson get better and better and better year in, year out. But last year he was trash. You can say what you want about injuries or whatever. He just didn't look good, and that could be a consequence of what's happening in Baltimore in terms of injuries and stuff. But, I really like Malik Willis. His speed alone keeps defenses honest, because you pretty much have to QB spy him every single play. And when you have a QB spy, that takes a guy away from covering over the middle. That takes a guy away from potentially rushing. And the thing I like about him, this is really underrated in quarterbacks, but it's something that just jumped out at me off the tape. It is he's very proficient in keeping his tempo, and he stays disciplined in terms of he doesn't rush himself. He goes through his progressions. He's very, very smart. Now, this is another guy who you're going to draft purely on potential, because he does have the highest ceiling of anyone in this draft. That's just a fact. He's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
The problem is mechanical issues again. He's seriously inconsistent, like as a passer, and that comes down to mechanics. He struggles to keep them clean all the time. And that's just another thing. He's going to need care. He's going to need development time in the NFL. That's just how it goes. I just realized I look like Zeke doing that. And
feed me more. Feed me.
Yeah, exactly. I got my taco bar. It's fine. That's just me. One of the things that happens, and he can get a little bit jumpy in the pocket, which leads to him taking off. Like, don't get me wrong, fantastic runner, but sometimes there are passes there that he just gets a little bit jumpy. So he'll take off and get 10 yards running where he potentially could have had 50 yards passing. So those are just the little things I noticed in terms of like purely just grading a player. He's probably one of the easiest to do because what you see is what you get with Malik Willis.
So what? Okay, so you guys got we'll let you plug your draft guide. You guys got coming out here pretty soon here. When do you think it's coming out, and how can people get it?
I'm going to be honest, probably around 10th of April, but this will be at full10yards.com/shop. You'll be able to find an electronic copy there, and then come draft night, you'll probably get to see a little bit more of it. But you know, the best thing about this is, okay, you want to get it before the draft, but the best thing is you can then buy it on the draft, post draft. You can go through and see the players your team has grabbed. You can say, oh, we've grabbed, Jack Jones, corner, Arizona State, and you're, say, a Tennessee fan, and you're like, wow, this guy, he's small, but he's got a high motor and he's really athletic and he's really good when it comes to attacking the catch point. And we've broke it down to make it super, super easy for people who maybe not necessarily have the football knowledge that me and you have, Jeff. So we'll have the school, we'll have the grade we put, what round we think they should be taken. Then we'll have a grade out of 100, which, I'm not big on grades, that, but it is what it is. Then
You're a big PFF fan too.
Yeah, let's go. Then we'll have height, weight, and then we'll have a strength column, a weaknesses column, and then a summary. And then we'll have like pro day times and stuff like that. We'll also point out what we noticed their best game on tape was, or what their worst game on tape was. So there's going to be all these things that will just help you get to know a player better. And within, a page will take 2-3 minutes to read. And within that 2-3 minutes of reading, you know who's going to be good, who's going to be good. And I'm seeing in the chat now, Crown Apple's just put a comment. What do you think of Booth out of Clemson? He is phenomenal. Just
I like him.
An absolutely phenomenal player. And obviously Stingley and Sauce there with him.
You know who I want right here. Right, Kobe.
Hey, if we could get Kobe in the second round, that would be
I'm not saying Kobe at 31. I mean, if we can get Booth at 31, fine. I'll take Kobe at in the second round, because I'm like, look, my point is they're going to take the best player available throughout this draft, and the defense line and the cornerbacks are the two positions I think they need to throw as much at it as they can. And we can say that now because they fixed the offensive line. But that's where I think, and then also I want to throw out their safety too, because you got Bell coming up, and who knows what they're going to do with Jesse Bates. So I think safety is another one they could try and draft too.
And obviously we're looking at tight end now from a very reliable source of mine, Raj, at _Garch on Twitter. He's saying Jake Ferguson is the tight end to look out for. He said he's the best tight end in the class, but tight ends, they don't always go that high. A guy, a lot of people smell Jelani Woods. Big issue with him is his hands. He bobbles balls all over the shop, and we don't need that, because that's what CJ Uzama was good at. He was that reliable safety blanket for Joe Burrow. Now, when we talk about LSU guys, there is the possibility of Stingley falling. I don't think he will, because he's
not gonna, dude. He's not falling to 31. Dude, if he falls to 31, I'll shave my freaking head. I'll be ecstatic that we get him.
You know how sometimes injuries, people get weird about it.
But to fall to 31, he was the number one cornerback. I cannot see him dropping that far. I just don't.
A couple other guys I think we should spring for. Neil Farrell out of LSU. I'm going to talk about two LSU guys here. Neil Farrell out of LSU, fantastic defensive tackle.
Right.
Actually, I'm going to speak about three LSU guys. Absolute monster, Neil Farrell. I think we could spring for him in the third. He would replace Larry Ogunjobi and then some. And then we got Damone Clark, who is going to miss his rookie season. He's had to have back surgery, but the prognosis is he's going to come back to full health. I think we could probably get him in the sixth if we are fine spending draft capital on a guy who's not going to play his first year. I mean, we've had that with some other guys.
Yeah.
And then another one is Ali Gay. He is a game wrecker.
Now, I have a question. Get back to the guy who you said won't play this year. Is there a chance that he could go undrafted and they could pick him up that way?
Yeah, I only say draft him because he's a good guy and I want to see him make some money. I don't want to see him have to sit.
But if he's excuse me, but if he's not going to play this year, there might be a chance he goes undrafted and they sign him that way.
Yeah, either way I'm happy with. Either way I'm happy with. as somebody like me, I feel like injuries are very unfortunate. We see it with that Michigan kid. Very unfortunate.
Oh,
He had an
dude.
Achilles injury at pro
Could you
day.
could you believe the video? The coach or whoever just
The
walked
guy
by
just
and
walked off.
and picked the ball up and like hello, the dude just screamed in pain. I'm like everybody just let him lay there. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
two words
know
for him:
I know it's
scumbag maneuvers.
yeah, I mean, I know it's football, and I know you're like, oh, rub some dirt on it, but dude, there was something seriously wrong with that kid. You should just go
Yeah,
find out.
his fucking Achilles snapped.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you know, these, but also I don't know the context behind that. Whether he was just like, I don't want to touch him, just in case he fucks it up worse. But I agree with you. The optics was terrible. It looked
he walked there and picked the ball
really
up.
bad.
Like, hey, you okay? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Say something.
Your
I
Achilles
don't know.
was fucked. You good?
Yeah.
No, it was a horrible situation, and he's another guy. I feel like his draft stock is definitely going to fall for that. But with Damone Clark, I think he's having a disc or a vertebrae fused. I just know it's an issue with his back that's going to take roughly 8 to 12 months to heal.
All right. So who's your third guy?
Ali Gay.
Okay.
He game wrecker once again. Plus, I think it would be cool if we could change Trent Taylor's number and have that number 11 coming off the edge on defense. Like if you had Hendrickson on one side and then Farrell and BJ in the middle, and then coming off the other edge, Ali Gay. Woo!
There you go.
Woo!
Get me excited.
In trouble out there. Yeah. It's
so I've had a lot of people ask me on here about Elam from Florida. What's your thoughts on him?
Dog shit. I'm just going to be honest. Now, I maybe a little bit harsh, but I keep seeing his name thrown around as if he's some like top tier corner, and he's really, really not that good. Now, I'm going to bring up my notes on him because just not for nothing. I'm really good at scouting. I don't think he's very good. I'll tell you the good things. Great straight line speed, absolute burner. Good length. He's 6'2". He's got a massive wingspan. His athletic ability is top notch. He has very good ball skills and a fairly astute. It's a big word for me. Football IQ. He knows what he's doing when he's seen it there. Problems are can't tackle. Very poor tackling form. His poor footwork actually works. Footwork is very important for a DB. You know that, watching him backpedal, things like that. His footwork hampers his athleticism. So he's not as fast as he could be because his footwork is fucking him up every single time. He seems to shy away from tackles as well. One thing I talk about, I talk about when we come to DBs is how good they are at tackling. That's what separates top from the bottom.
Well, and that's one thing, just to roll into the Bengals, that's what they've based a lot of their DBs and a lot of their players on in drafting in the last couple of years and free agency is being able to tackle. So I mean, I know tackling is a huge. I think tackling gets lost and learn how to play football sometimes.
And I'm fine when someone's a willing tackler, because the good part about being a willing tackler is you are willing to learn how to tackle. He seems to shy away from tackles. Just doesn't like the contact. He also lacks actual versatility. Like NFL teams need versatility. You are not bringing a corner in if he's a one-trick pony or he can only do one thing. That's not how this works. This isn't a quarterback. This isn't a wide receiver situation.
Right.
You need a guy who can do it all as a DB. He also struggles to take effective angles when he's pursuing. That's another part of his game he's not got down yet. And then big problem when he is up against like a twitchier guy like a Devontae Adams, who's really twitchy off the line. And, I have my own problems with the way Devontae Adams comes off the line, the little jump and shit he does. I would very much advise young wide receivers to not try and copy that part of his game, because he's one of the only people I can put off.
It's kind of like a spin move that oh crud, was the defensive end for the Colts back in the day used to do to come off the edge. Oh, what is his name? I cannot remember. He used to have a spin move, and he wouldn't recommend it for anybody to do it, but he could do it. I cannot think of his name right now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. A lot of guys do it. It's just, And that's the problem with Elam. If he goes up against a guy like
Yes, Dwight Freeney. Thanks, Foxy. There you go.
when he goes up against a guy that's going to be, Devontae Adams isn't going to be every play, but when he goes up a guy who's very fast and very twitchy, he gets lost. And another thing, double moves confuse the shit out of him. Every time he gets hit with a double move, it's like the first time he's ever seen a double move. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets lost. And I know, people on Twitter, there's Bengals fans. Oh, but I've seen his PFF grade. Fuck PFF. Watch some film, dog. I will teach. Look, I'm a nice guy. I will teach people how to watch film if they ask me. I will take time out of my day, hop in a Zoom call, and I'll show you what to evaluate. I promise you, it's not that hard. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, but it's not that hard once you get the hang of it. And yeah, I do not like Kaya Elam. I think probably a 3rd or 4th round guy if I have to go by my own estimations. People love him, and I think it's just because he's out of Florida personally, but I don't think he's very good, and I don't think he's going to be very good in the NFL. And whatever team takes him, he's going to be like, oh shit, we just burnt a 1st round pick on a fucking special teamer.
All right, so I got 2 more for you for the Bearcats. Jerome Ford, running back, and Alex Pierce. I think Pierce is going to ball out. If he gets in the right situation, I could see him being.
Well, look at what he did in the Alabama game. He was burning, like he was leaving Alabama DBs on skates on a regular basis. Just there was too much pressure. Desmond couldn't get it to him. He is an exceptional receiver. Like I said, I don't like doing player comps, but he's basically Jordy Nelson. It's the exact same height. Yeah. He's a very similar weight. Yeah. The fact that he's 6'3" is huge because he can bully people.
And he's fast too, dude. He is, and I think he did the longest long jump, I think, in the combine. I think he set the record, or is the longest one for the combine this year. I'm pretty sure.
I would honestly not be opposed to him putting on 20 pounds and playing the tight end.
Now, see, somebody said that yesterday on my show, and I'm like, I can't see that. I don't think he's big enough.
He's 6'3". He's just got to put on some muscle.
6'6" though, 6'5", 6'3". I mean, 6'3". That's my size. I mean, you're saying I could have been an NFL tight end?
Yeah, 100%. Like seriously, 6'3" is big enough. He's, most tight ends are around 6'3" to 6'6". I think 6'6" is sort of like the top end of the scale.
But if you put that weight,
Gronk's only 6'4".
The other thing too is the key. The other key to being a tight end is blocking. Like, how good would Alex Pierce be as a blocker if you put him at tight end?
You got Frank Pollock, haven't we?
Yeah, we do. Hey,
just take him out to Jeff Ruby's 3 nights of the week. Steak, veg. Get him lifting the weights. I'll take him. He can come to my house. We can box. We can get the weights going.
No, dude, you live like 5 minutes from me. No, he's coming to both our houses. If you got Alex Pierce there, we're eating steaks, dude. I'm in on this thing. You ain't getting all this.
But yeah, he is this huge guy. He could potentially put on 20 pounds and play tight end. I think you still think he'll be receiver.
You still think he'll be that fast with the weight on?
Lose a tiny bit of speed, but in terms of tight ends, he'll still be up there. In like fastest tight ends and stuff. I mean, he's not going to be a Travis Kelce, but he could develop into that. But he's a very good receiver. So probably nobody's going to make him switch.
Right.
He's better than N'Keal Harry already. And that N'Keal Harry is a 1st round pick. So I like him. And then Jerome Ford as well. Insane running back. I think we should take him if he falls a bit later, just because, look, I like Samar J.P. Rowe. I do. I think he's a great guy. He's been in the league a good few years. But come on, dog. You can't be dropping screen passes in certain games.
So you're telling me Jerome Ford is going to be the next Bengals running back?
He's going to be the next Bengals backup running back, yeah.
Jerome Ford is? You're calling it right now?
Fucking hope so. If not, I'm gonna have to give Mr. Brown a call and say, "Oi, what are you doing, blood?
Wake up! What are you looking at? He's right in the backyard." Dude, cool. I would love to get both of them, but I mean, I know we're not going to get Alex Pierce because I think. Well, I take that back. I do take that back. I do think the Bengals are going to address the wide receiver because they do need a good 4th one who can return punts. Now, Alex Pierce, I think he could return punts. He didn't, as far as I can remember. I don't think he did that in his college career.
He's too big to return punts. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting a 6'3" punt returner out there.
Right. So that's where I'm thinking the Bengals are probably going to draft a wide receiver, probably in, I would say, the 4th, fifth round that's a slot guy and can return punts for us too as well, because they're going to have to get somebody, because they're not going to re-sign Auden Tate.
Yeah, Tate's gone. I think probably Trent and Irwin probably not going to be around too much.
No,
longer.
they re-signed him already.
Oh, they did.
Yep.
And I forget his fucking name. 17.
Oh, Stanley Morgan.
Is he
They re-signed him too. Yep.
Okay, good. Trent Taylor.
Trent Taylor was like one of the first ones they signed.
Because if they re-sign Trent Taylor, then we're sorted for returns. Like we just are. But
who's the kickoff return then? Because Trent Taylor's doing the punts. Kickoff, we had Chris Evans at the end of the year.
Stanley Morgan and Trent and Irwin, surely.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, because Stanley Morgan got hurt. Yes, you're right. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll have those. We'll have those two.
But I still think they're going to draft. They're going to draft a. They're still going to draft a wide receiver. I think. I still think.
How long's Boyd got left on his contract?
2 years.
Because I love Boyd.
Guessing.
But we're not going to be able to pay Boyd, Chase, and
no.
And they're all going to want wide receiver one money. So maybe get a guy like Pierce, get him in the system,
right.
Get him reps over the first couple of years as he's improving, and then if we let Tate go, we can maybe trade him.
This is one thing I said yesterday. I mean, Blake Jewell said this on the show yesterday. Is I think this is TB. I love TB. I love him to death. I don't want him to go, but when you have a talented team, you're not going to keep everybody. It's just a fact. I think this is TB's last contract. I think this is Joe Mixon's last contract. I think those guys will move on.
Well, at least Joe Mixon's got like 4 or 5 years left.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I think this draft is the time for the Bengals to prepare for the future. Draft. I think it's going to be draft heavy on the defensive side, because they're not going to be able to afford to keep everybody, because they got to pay. We want to keep Joe Burrow. We want to keep T. Higgins. We want to keep Jamar. We want to keep those three. We at least want to keep Jackpot Joey Burrow and Chase. I want to keep T too, but if you got to pick one or the other, it's probably going to be Jamar. And then the other thing is, I'm kind of getting to the point, and I love Jesse Bates, and I want them to sign him. But I think his agent is screwing him. I really do. Because his agent is...
I think his agent was like, hey, play for more money. And he didn't turn up until the postseason.
Right. Well, his agent's the same one who just got all the guaranteed money for Deshaun Watson. So he's like, oh, look at me. Look what I can do. But, but the Brown, I don't care. The Brown family is not going to give Jesse Bates number one safety money. They're not going to. And I've said this before. I said, and you just said it earlier, Jesse Bates did not perform like that until the playoffs, which was awesome when he played in the playoffs. And again, Jesse Bates, if you're watching this show, I love you. I want you to stay a Bengal. But I just don't think you're going to get that money. And the thing is, the Bengals could tag him this year. They tag him next year. I mean, it's going to get to the point like, Jesse, you might as well just take them. And I think the Bengals want to pay him about what the tag is. I don't think it's too far off of that. But I think his agent is just like, oh, I can get all my guys all the big money. Well, you never met the Brown family, and they're pretty smart with their money. And I don't think they're going to do that.
This is a hot take I put out on Twitter. Sorry, this isn't related to Jesse Bates. I don't think it's a hot take. So Joe Mixon finished third in rushing yards this last season?
I think so.
With a dog shit offensive line. Now, imagine what he's going to do now with Kappa and
on like and Donkey Kong.
Are you mental? Are you, bro? What? He's going to be like Jonathan Taylor out there. Mm-hmm. He's going to tear it. I don't think people... This is the thing. People are like, oh, yeah, we've got this offensive line to protect Joe. Why am I not hearing Mixon's going to go fucking spastic on everyone?
I've been saying it. I've been saying a lot about Joe, too. But I'm like, dude, Joe Mixon has got to be just drooling, man, because he can actually run to the right. He can actually run up the middle. I don't know, Kieran. He can actually run through a hole and make his first cut beyond the line of scrimmage. What an amazing concept. He's never been able to do that. I'm not on a consistent basis.
He's just going to get on Lael Collins' back and ride him into the end zone. I'm pretty convinced that's going to happen.
Like, come on, bodyguard, let's go.
Remember Joe's first touchdown as a Bengal, where he basically just pushed a lineman in front of him to take a block? It's going to be that with Lael Collins every single play.
Oh, well, actually, the funny thing, you know who that lineman was? I'm 99% sure it was Bobby Hart.
It was the best block of his life, and it was done.
It was either Bobby Hart or it was Trey Hopkins, but I'm pretty sure it was Bobby Hart.
What do you think about that Tyler Linderbaum, the center.
Okay, that's one that I like. I was all for him, which I'm not saying I'm against him.
I don't think he
Um,
falls, but
I don't. He's got the short arms, and we got the short arms. He might,
yeah, but
if he's
Lloyd
there.
Cushenberry was
Mhm.
center for the Denver Broncos. He's
Yeah.
got some of the longest arms a center has ever had, and he's dog shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he's there, I'm taking him, and I might be moving Ted Karras over to left guard. I mean, we'll have to see how it goes. But if he's there, I'm taking him, dude.
I
And
mean,
that's the cool thing though. Is like I said, they take the best player available here. Let's get there with Jimmy. Jimmy says, with all the free agent acquisitions, do you think the Bengals will still draft O-line? We just talked about it, or do they do something else with the first? I think they're going to have a list of best player available. You know, they don't have to reach for anybody. They don't have to go, oh, we might get this guy. We need this. Yeah, they need a DB, but they can get a good DB in a second round too. You know, so that's what I think they're going to do. So whatever the best player is on their list at 31, they're going to draft them. And then if somebody gives them a really good trade opportunity to trade back and get more picks, I think they're going to trade back. To be honest, I really think that's the bigger play.
Shouts to my boy Jimmy as well. He just had a bunch of pins and stuff taken out of his leg, so he's just been out of hospital yesterday. So shouts to Jimmy.
There you go, Jimmy.
Interesting comment there from Jeremy Nolan as well. Cornerback or defensive back at 31? Cornerbacks are defensive backs. Just, they're the same thing. But that's just the whole secondary. I think we should, depend on how the rest of free agency pans out, because there's still a couple of guys out there. There's still some depth we can go at. I think what we do at 31 is very, 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 like, the whole position we go after is very, very reliant on who gets drafted before. Yeah. If Tyler Linderbaum's there, we go for it. But if somehow a really good corner falls, gotta go for it.
Right. That and that's what's so awesome about what the Bengals did. They've put themselves in a position to draft the best player available in every single round. And I did an article I sent you on this about Matt Ariza, the punter from San Diego State.
People love him. He's a beast.
He's a beast, and he's a legit punter. And I know we got Drew Christensen, and I'm not saying anything against him at all. I know people are like, well, we got Drew Christensen, and I'm not saying anything against Kevin Huber, but this dude is freaking unbelievable. If you watch his tape, I mean, Kieran, he's got his back feet.
Bro, he hit sticks people too.
Yes, he's got his foot on the end zone, and he's kicking it to the damn 10-yard line, the other side, and then he's down there, and he's the first one down there drilling the guy. I'm like, not that I want my punter going out there hitting all the time because it's the NFL and I think he'll get injured. I want him out there punting, but I'm just like, that's a huge weapon, and nothing against Drew Christian. I think Drew Christian's got a big leg too, but this kid is unbelievable.
If we sign him as well, and this is probably an unforeseen consequence that not a lot of people are going to talk about, he'll be on Pat McAfee probably every fucking week, because we know Pat loves punters, we know Pat loves special teamers. For the brand, we all love Pat McAfee to an extent, but him
for the brand
out there on Pat McAfee saying,
Pat
"Hey,
McAfee,
the Bengals."
Okay? This Sports Straw Ass YouTube show. I'm trying to be Pat McAfee. Okay,
I'm trying to be Pat McAfee with a better haircut and a better taste in sleeveless shirts, but
with the pot leaves on it.
And these are palm trees, man.
Everybody keeps asking if it's pot. If you got pot leaves.
Using Florida. Now, Mr. Decepticon made a very, very good point, because this guy I finished doing my for today, and I need him to put in chat just to confirm if this is right. Is he talking about Tariq Castro Fields? Oh, it's a safety. Oh, I thought he meant corner. No, Tariq Castro Fields is a corner at Penn State he's intriguing. He needs work. I don't know who the safety is out of Penn State, unfortunately. I've been doing just corners and quarterbacks, and I know my way around everyone else, but I'm an expert on the other guys.
So, all right, so let's get about the crowns here. You said the DB from Baylor, which I think it means Pierre. I think that's his name. How you say it?
Yeah, also a guy, I forgot about. We should talk about this. Stephen Gilmour. I don't know if you know that name. But
it's Stephon Gilmour's brother.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know who he is.
He's out of Marshall. He's a great athlete, great tackler, great pursuit, solid hands. sticky hands as well. I'll say it seems that he's got stick 'em on sometimes, and his click and goes ability is it's fantastic. My biggest problem is with him is that he's 175 pounds and 5'11". But damn, if we could get him in like a third or fourth round,
There you go.
and then we got a Gilmour out there too. We can tell all
Yep.
these people talking about the trade rumors to shut up.
Yeah, I'd love to get his brother stuff on. Brisker, I guess that's the guy's name he's talking about.
Like I said, I'm not too familiar with safeties this year. I am.
I honestly don't know who he is. So
Yeah, I'm all in on. Look, if it's corners and quarterbacks, ask me a question. I got you. But till then, I'm slightly out.
All right. So then I heard this on the Dan Patrick show earlier today.
That's fake news.
Well, it doesn't make any damn sense. Why
No,
in the
it
hell
doesn't.
would he go to Miami when he says he's going back to Tampa Bay? And for everybody on the podcast, the rumor is Tom Brady's trying to get a trade to Miami, which I don't think that make any sense.
JPA football came out and was like, no, it's not true.
Well,
I think it's one of those things that circulates.
If you logically think about it, he just getting everybody back. Jensen stayed there because of him. Fournette just went back because of him. I was like, so he's like, yeah, we're gonna run it back, and then all of a sudden, oh no, guys, deuces, I'm going to Miami.
I saw the same story Foxy did though,
Yeah.
because I saw it floating around. It's one of them stories, but then JPA and a couple other guys come out. It's like it's not true, and then I was like, fucking slow news day, must be surely.
Oh yeah,
because
dude, after last week, holy I gotta tell you because that was I was on vacation last week and everything was happening with the Bengals. Yeah, everything was happening with the Bengals and everything. I'm like, man, it would have been a great week to be able to do my podcast, but I was on vacation. So this week, first 3 days, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, blah blah. And the last 2 is kind of like, man, there ain't crap to talk about. It's like it's kind of hard to do a podcast about the Bengals and Bearcats every day when there's not a whole lot to talk about.
Foxy also makes another great point. NFC is a cakewalk right now.
Oh, dude, I've said this.
What team is a contender besides the Rams? Like, honestly, truthfully.
Well, the Buccaneers, but that's it. I mean,
even then, they
right?
got bounced.
But I mean, that's
in the playoffs last year.
Well, Kieran, I've said this. I said the AFC is varsity. I said the NFC is JV. I said, and it was like that before, I think, because we already had all the quarterbacks to begin with. Now we got the rest of them basically.
Also, the AFC West.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened over the course of like 3 days?
Mm-hmm.
That division's got. I know there was guys already there, but like Patrick Mahomes, Devontae Adams, Khalil Mack, JC. I was like, what the fuck is?
Right.
And Lee, Lee's a Chargers fan. Lee was buzzing.
Oh, I bet he was.
Khalil Mack and JC Jackson.
I know. I was like, holy crap!
Dog.
I'm like, dude. The funny thing is, like all these other fan bases are coming at us and saying, "Oh, it's on now." I'm like, yeah, but as long as the Bengals stay healthy, they went to the Super Bowl last year with the AFC. It was tough last year with a shitty offensive line. We got a really good offensive line right now.
Why are people counting us out?
Top 10 offensive line.
That's what I don't get. Our team has only improved, and people are like,
right,
not very good, bro. We made the fucking Super Bowl last year. We got better. Are you dumb?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just kind of. I don't. And like I said, to me, it all comes down. We have to stay healthy. The Bengals were really healthy last year, and that helped out a lot. The chance of them being that healthy back-to-back years is not very good. That's why I'm like, we got to go heavy in the draft on defense and to get in depth. Yeah, to get that. So that's where I'm at. Let's see here, Foxy. Oh, there you go. Crown real quick. I put that up there. Shows rated R. All right, Foxy. Arizona is a choke artist, and maybe the 49ers might have a shot in the NFC. Huh?
Arizona has such a strong team, like on paper, and such great players and elite athletes who can do literally whatever they want, but because of Cliff Kingsbury, he's holding them back. He got that job off a 5-win season in the Big 12. Are you mental?
Well, I don't think Kyler Murray is that mentally strong. I'll put it that way. Because when stuff goes sideways, he goes sideways with it. He's not the one that steadies the ship. Because if you watch that playoff game against the Rams, he was awful, dude.
Yeah, he struggles.
I mean that safety he got out of the end zone was ridiculous. I'm going, what are you doing? Like, you're an NFL quarterback. This is the playoffs, man. You can't be doing that stuff. All right, let's get to.
I mean,
go ahead.
It's just Cliff Kingsbury is going to continue to hold that team back again and again and again and again and again.
But he looks good though. He's very pretty.
I mean, so am I, but I'm not an NFL head coach. You know what I'm saying, bruv? You know
But
what I'm saying?
he's very stylish and everything. He's a cool looking coach. I mean, doesn't that count for something? I'm totally kidding here. All right. Let's see here. Also later in the draft, I think they should draft a linebacker like either Beavers from Cincinnati or Overshaw from Texas. I'm not big. We don't linebackers. I think we're good, to be honest. I mean, I'll always take depth, but that's not one that I would really foresee the Bengals really going after. I mean, they might, but I don't know. I think the linebackers are actually pretty solid there right now. What do you think?
Yeah, like I said, when I pointed out guys like Ali Gay and stuff, that's literally just a depth thing. And Ali Gay, although he's a linebacker, he's mainly off the edge. He can cover, but like he is mainly a predominantly an edge guy. I think we're good. Did we re-sign Jermaine Pratt? Obviously, we've got Logan Wilson still. Jermaine Pratt was absolutely fantastic.
Well, Jermaine Pratt, year. They might extend him.
I think he was honestly a bit of a surprise last year. I didn't expect him to do.
He made a huge jump. Well, I mean, the linebackers in general, I think Akeem Davis-Gaither.
What he did in the Raiders game?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, Akeem Davis-Gaither, I think, is going to make a bigger jump too because he started to, but then he got injured. So, and then you still got Marcus Bailey, who was good too. So, I really think the linebacker room went from a weakness a couple of years ago to actual strength of this team. So, yeah, if there's a good linebacker there, like I said, they're there to draft the best players available. I'm not saying they won't, but that's not one of their needs that I foresee. Anyway.
Yeah, I think realistically the biggest need is, Ted Karras is an okay center. Like he's way better than what we had. But if we could get like an elite center in the draft and then like a good corner, I think we're good. It's not like we have holes to fill.
So
we just have
this is what I want. I want Lion Ball at 31, and I want Kobe in the second round.
Yeah.
And we're good. Then we're going to Super Bowl again. Woo!
Trade away the rest of the picks.
Fuck it. Let's go.
No, I like that. I think very much we don't really, like I said, we don't really have holes. We just have places we can add a little bit more depth, which I think we're set, honestly. To be honest, like we're going to take a couple guys, but I'm very... The draft's only going to be disappointing if we like completely fuck it up. There's like a lot of picks we could take at every single pick. As long as we don't do like a Raiders style draft, we'll be fine.
They don't have to reach for anybody. So we don't have to try to reach it. We don't have to like the cornerback. Like I said, we don't need that to me. That's the biggest hole we have to try to fix. And if we come back with Eli Apple, okay, fine. If that's what it worked. It's not ideal. I'm not saying I want them to do that. But I think we can get a cornerback. We don't need a shutdown number one corner the way Lou runs the defense. We just need an adequate guy there who's consistent. And if Eli Apple can
bro, we made a Super Bowl with Eli Apple.
Right. But if Eli Apple can get better and get consistent, that's Eli's biggest problem is he's not consistent. He'll make a great play, and then he'll make a bonehead play. If he's consistent, he would be a solid 2 cornerback. He would be.
He fucked us on a lot of plays.
Yeah. Then he made some great plays, too.
Don't get me wrong. He came up big. He came up huge on some plays. But there was other ways where he completely fucked us the other way, and it basically erased all of his good plays because he messed up at points too. So he was essentially just a non-factor in most games because, he might get you a pick, but he's also going to get burnt for like an 80-yard touchdown at some point.
Right, exactly. So, like I said, I would like them to get Linebaugh, and I'd like them to get a corner. Linebaugh and Kobe Bryant, and dude, the draft would be a home run in my book. Anyway, Kieran, we've been on for about an hour. All right, tell everybody again about the draft guide coming out, when it's coming, where they can get it, and all that stuff.
Around April 10th, full10yards.com/shop. We're not doing physical copies this year, unfortunately, but we're going to get, we're going to have these downloadable copies. Head over to the website. If you want me to sign your hard drive that you keep it on, I'll come do that for you. I'm a nice guy. If not, just catch me on the show again soon with Jeff.
Exactly. He's going to be on here. We're going to do this again. Like I said, I keep talking about this. I might do a draft show that night. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat would love that.
We'll find out. All right, Karen. Take it easy, brother. Hooday.
Take it easy, bro. Hooday, bro.
All right, guys. Like I said, go check out the Full 10 Yards podcast. Go check them out. their draft guide. It will be coming out April 10th. You guys can download it. And they've been working really hard at trying to get this thing put together. So please go check that out. And go check out their podcast and all their other platforms that they have. They do a really good job over there. All right, let's get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream, and I appreciate every single one of them. They're Who Dey Nation, Who Dey Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, Bearcat Country, the Ohio State Bucknuts, Cincinnati Reds, riding third, heading for home, the Ice Bar, and then follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trenopole. TikTok is at Iceman90. All of them are under Sports with Strawberry Ice. You can just Google it, and you can find all of them. I will be pulling off the sound later on tonight, putting on the podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Give me a 5-star review. I would greatly appreciate it. Download it. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors about it. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors about Sports with Strawberry Ice on YouTube. I am at 1,537 subscribers. That is awesome. As always, you know it. I appreciate every single one of you guys trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the time the football season rolls around. That would be awesome. That would be ecstatic. Please help me do that. You guys rock. All right. We got a great guest list of guests next week. All Bengals, all Bearcats, all the time on my channel, Sports Strawberry Ice. I might talk some baseball. I don't know. We'll see if the Reds do anything. You guys have a great weekend. And other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Let's go. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every end day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle dripping heat, tigers strike the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you reppin' who day, time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em, Bengal ball 'em, never stop it till the beast on feastin' on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins.